As my name remains Pastor Carlo Kebe Carlo from Assemblies of God, 42 of Home Street. I would like us to discuss about a man called Saul. But the topic I want to present today says, watch your sword. If you look into the way things are going, many people were lifted by God. Many were made great. Many had a lot of charisma. Many were really blessed by God. But at a given time, some of the mighties, they failed. This message is coming your way to tell you that there is no level of grace, no level of achievement or position you may find yourself that is everlasting. And most times, if you are not very careful, you lose out in life, even with all those graces. There was a man called Saul, as we shall be going to the book of 1 Chronicles 10 verse 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel. The Israelites fled before them, and many fell slain on the mount of Gilboa. Saul said to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and run me through, or these uncircumcised fellows will come and abuse me." I would like the reading to stop here. As I continue, I will be talking about this particular issue. The topic that is coming your way today says, watch your sword. Because I believe that Saul was very careful, he wouldn't have died in the hands or in the midst of his enemies. Saul was the first king of Israel. His kingship never came by election of men. He was not elected by anybody. He didn't even bribe people for such a position. But God, in his infinite mercy and divine arrangement, chose Saul to be the first king of Israel. However, Bible made mention that he carried himself like a king. He packaged himself like a king. He did a lot of exploits because God really empowered him. He destroyed the people of Amalek. He frustrated the counsels of the Philistines, who were torn on the flesh of the people of Israel. He did marvelous work. Within this frame of divine purpose, Saul did great. But something happened in between, because Saul didn't watch his sword. Saul killed himself. There was a time he was sent on errand to fight the people of Amalek, because these people were torn on the flesh of the people of Israel. The direction God gave to him was destroy every single thing, both human and animal, even livestock. Put everything to salt, because if you allow these people to live, they will continue to terrify Israelites. But Saul went to the battle. He defeated the Amalek, but he chose some choice livestock, some sheep, and also allowed the king to be alive. But that was not the direction God gave to him. Most of the time, at certain height in life, we begin to see ourselves. Pride came into him. He now decided to go to the right destination, taking a wrong route, doing it in his own way. Most of the time, some of the positions and the opportunities God has given to us, when we started, some of us, we took direction from God. We thanked God for such privileges. But along the way, we do things in our own way. Some of the times, we use it the way we like. Arrogance. Arrogance was one of the things that killed Saul. When the battle was so terrible, And Saul saw that he could not make it out of that battle. He said to the armor bearer, "Thrust me through with your sword, so that this uncircumcised will not abuse me." The armor bearer refused, and Saul took up his own sword and fell on his sword, and he died. Remember, disobedience, the Bible made us understand that obedience is better than sacrifice. Did God tell Saul that he was in need of sheep, in need of anything? He said, I've selected this one to sacrifice to you, my father, because you led me to the battle. No, that was not the instruction God gave to him. There are some gifts we give to God, and those gifts will amount to arrogance. Now, some of the times, there are some gifts we give to God, and they are not acceptable in His sight, because obedience is better than sacrifice. How are you making your money? Most of the time, we make money in a kind of way that provoke God. And after everything, we take some of these things, even the tithe, we bring it before God. God doesn't take any gift that is under disobedience. Let us be very careful. Saul killed himself. Another thing that killed Saul was that Saul lived in denial. When someone said to him, "Why did you do this? Was it the instruction given to you?" And Saul said, "The people led me to do this." As a leader, you have to take responsibility of whatever assignment or duty given to you. Even in the family, as the leader, as parents are the leaders of the family, you don't have to keep blaming people. Oh, taking excuse, this is the reason, and the other thing is the reason. This one caused me to do this. You have to take responsibility of the duty post God has given to you. Paul said, "The people led me to do that." What a kind of silly excuse. He died because he failed to be careful with his own sword. If you look into the statement, when Samuel said to him, "You have lost your kingdom. God has rejected you," the first thing he said, "Oh, please, walk with me so that people will not know that God has rejected me." Ego, painting self. Even when you know you are no longer standing in, even among ministers, sometimes we know very well that we are no longer standing on the grace. We try to paint image. In our career, in our duty post, some of the assignment God has given to you, you know you are no longer there, but you try to pretend as if you are still there. Why don't you humble yourself? Find a way to correct yourself. Saul didn't even try to correct himself. Rather, he went on to give excuses of why he failed. He was not killed by his enemies. He fell by his own sword. Because when he was still with God, the grace was still there. But his sword was terrible that the enemy could not withstand him. But now the grace of God left him. Saul was captured by his enemy. They didn't kill him, they wounded him. Your enemy can wound you. Their rejection can be a wound. Their conspiracies can only wound you, but they can't kill you. They can't waste you when you are still under God's grace. They wounded Saul. Instead of Saul repenting, saying to God, "I'm sorry," going down before him, Saul pretended. He killed himself in the battle of Gibeah. How the mighty fall. A lot of mighty men have failed because they failed to change. Because they took the grace of God for granted. They took the opportunities for granted. They had to mess their life up in the mount of Gibeah. When Saul was still in his right position and senses, he cancelled anything like witches and wizards in the land of Israel. But when he failed, when the glory of God left him, The same Saul was the one who secretly and deceitfully went to a witch, trying to consult Samuel. Anytime you fell from God's grace, those things you have already rejected in the past, some of the life you rejected in the past, you see yourself living them again. Some of the company you refused to keep before, you rejected before, you see yourself mingling again because the glory of God has left. The same thing happened to Saul. Some of the life he rejected, some of the engagement he rejected, some of the worship he rejected, he is now back to idol worship. Why? Because God had left him. Saul killed himself because he did not watch his sword. I want to mention a few things, then we call it a day. His failure didn't only affect him, the failure destroyed even his entire generation. Kingdom was taken away from his family and all the sons of Saul. That means even if you have a father or a relation who is moving in the wrong direction, you better not shy away to correct him or call his attention to other. Because some people can suffer some of the evil their close brother, father, mother, or parents did. That is what happened to Jonathan. In all the Bible story and history, Jonathan was a very good friend of David. He had a compassionate heart. But as you can see, because his father messed up, the failure also affected Jonathan. Even as a wife, be careful to call your husband to order when your husband is going in the wrong direction. Even as a husband, correct your children, correct even your wife. Because when the failure will come, when the fall and the hit will come, everybody in the family somehow will suffer it. Saul did not watch his sword. He died by his own sword. This thing affected the entire nation of Israel because of the sin of one man. The glory of Israel failed. All the victories won for Israelites came to mess. Why? Because of sin of one man who was the leader of the people of Israel, King Saul. Watch your sword, because mighty men have failed in generations. Don't be a failure in your own time. This is Reverend Carlo Kebe, once again, Lomi Multi TV, bringing to your way glorious moment. Thank you very much. We shall come again to discuss with you on different issues of importance.